Hello, I hope you're well today. So today, I know many of you are interested in tarot like I am, so I do weekly readings at the moment, and I tend to do the 10 card spread that is from the Crowley book, the Tarot Mirror of the Soul. And although they tend to form it in the style of Celtic cross, I usually spread it out across the table just for ease when it comes to recording. But I know a lot of us, we're trying to learn tarot, and we do this in our own way, and most of the time we're doing this through reading the books. And this can be like a good backup, because sometimes we're really trying to learn and we don't want to get anything wrong. But one thing I'm finding over time is that I'm allowing my intuition to come through more, to speak through the cards as I'm noticing them. But I wanted to kind of help you as well, to take you through some things that might help you when you're trying to tap into the subconscious or the collective field when you're doing your tarot, either for yourself or for others. So one of the systems that's in the book is System 1, clarification of a question or emotional condition. So I thought we could go through that today, and some just things that might help you through doing the reading, that kind of can help you feel relaxed or feel yourself going into the cards to get more intuition and more messages to come through. So for this one, I've got the deck, and you would mix the cards. So what I'm going to do, I will put the camera angle down so you can see them in a second. So you would mix the cards, and then you would set them in front of you in 2 piles. So give them a good mix first. And what I always do is I always light a candle and some incense first, just to kind of, you know, set the scene, set the senses of kind of like feeling into the energy. So give them a good mix. And then when you're ready, you would place them into 2 piles. So you'd have one at your left and one at your right. And the one on your left represents your passive receptive aspect, and the one on your right represents the outgoing active one. So you'd mix the left hand to pile again. And once you feel you're finished mixing them, you would lay the top card in position 2, which is kind of like a triangle. You can see my book's really old here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So position 2 would be on your left, and then the bottom card you would put in position 3, which is your card on your right. So then you'd set that aside, and then you would do the same for the right hand pile. Give them a mix again, and then when you feel you're ready, oh, I'm getting jumpers here. Sometimes that can mean something as well, but I'm not going to do that for today, just for the ease of this video. Right, so then once you're ready, you would then lay the top position, the top card in position number 1, which is the top of the shape, and then the bottom card, number 4, at the bottom. So now we've got our 4 cards. Okay, so then you'd keep that pile there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera angle so you can kind of see. So just one sec. So I've just turned over the cards, and this is position 1, this is card 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So number 1 at the top, this card is the actual theme of what's really of concern to you or the collective at this time. What is really going on, what is the basic question. And then the card in position 2 shows what the collective are receptive and open to, which people, energies and events are they attracting or we attracting. The card in position 3 shows what we are expressing and showing of ourselves outwardly, and what is our effect on others, and how do we influence our environment. And card in position 4 is the answer or the key, and it points a way in which to overcome the problem actively, or suggests a way around or out of it. And negative cards in this position can also indicate the possible end of a negative conditional attitude. So now that we've got our cards, before you would have done this, I hope most of you do ground your energy first, because it's much better to kind of bring the energy, you know, take some deep breaths, make sure your awareness is dropping into your body, You know, make sure you're anchored in your own field first before you tap in, and really set a clear intention for what you're wanting to do. So something like, I am open to insight that serves clarity and truth for this reading. I connect with symbolic wisdom relevant to this situation. Or something like, I allow intuitive understanding to arise through the cards. This will help like keep you focused. Otherwise you can end up picking up on like an emotional noise and calling it insight. So really try to use the cards as a bridge, not the source. You know, the cards don't contain the message, they stimulate your subconscious and your intuitive pattern recognition. So when you look at a card, you know, try and notice your first impressions, don't edit it. So, you know, this is card in position number 1. When you look at this card and, you know, do you get like a reaction in your body? Is there a tightness, like a warmth, or a feeling of neutrality? Because your first symbolic association, even if it seems random to you, this is kind of like your first hit. So even if like you're looking and the first thing like I can see right here is the snake at the bottom, all curled up at the bottom. Like, so for me, this is like the subconscious layer right at the bottom, where the snake for me and most people, a lot of people, is a symbol of transformation, shedding the skin. But then up above you can kind of see the lines, the green lines that come from the hands up to his head. So that and there's green behind his head as well. So green can be like the colour of creativity, and the beams of light, maybe there's something coming into him from the subconscious to his conscious. So that's just one example. So rather than, you know, with the hanged man, most of us straight away we go to the meaning of the book. So surrender, letting go, those kind of things. When you first like look at your first card, really try to get into that imagery, you know, kind of go into a receptive state. It's really helpful for me if I just like let my eyes soften and then feel like I'm being pulled to, you know, to some area of the card. You're really aiming for like a relaxed attention, you know, like you're listening to music while you're daydreaming. It's not about forcing meanings or straining for messages or trying to download something. A lot of people miss intuition because they're trying too hard to receive it, and believe me, I have been there. So over time, as you do your readings, you will probably start to notice things like recurring symbols and themes across readings, or certain emotional tones for certain cards, because your interpretations will evolve as you go. But this is like your psyche aligning with the archetype patterns, which is a lot of people, you know, they label it as collective consciousness. But a lot of the times we do see things through different archetypes that we see in our, you know, our conscious world, like the relationships that we're in. So when you do, you know, close your reading, you would, you know, shuffle the deck, get rid of the energy again, you know, just to kind of reorientate yourself, you know, because a lot of people, they can feel like they're getting mental bleed through, which can feel like you're still, you know, part of that energy connection. So, you know, you don't need to leave yourself to access something bigger. You're kind of calling that, and it's coming from your subconscious. So it all gets access from within you. So yeah, so obviously as we've got this as our theme, there could be a time of surrender. So the traditional card in the FOF deck can have extra symbolic meanings than like the traditional, you know, Rider-Waite deck as well. So what I really love about this book is that, this is the Hangman card here, is that it has indications, questions, suggestion and affirmation. So for the Hanged Man, it says it is now possible for you to recognise where you are stuck and which areas of your life are congealed rather than flowing. There is nothing to do. The mere act of perceiving a reality clearly makes transformation possible. And then the question, in what areas of your life are you stuck? Are you ready to recognise and let go of your petrified thought and behaviour patterns? Draw another card for that which awaits you when you surrender. Affirmation, I let go and realise, follow and accept the will of the divine in my life, which reveals itself to me step by step. So I do really love this deck because, you know, that I find those really useful, and over time that's really helped me with my understanding of the card, because there's always something deeper. It's not just, oh, this is all it means. A lot of the time is over time you can meditate on the card and you can find other meanings. Like you've got the ankh here for like symbolizing life in ancient Egypt. The grids, what does that mean to you? What's quite useful, I find, is I've started to write my own tarot book. So, you know, starting from the major arcana going through, and then I write down some of the traditional things that are like the typical meanings of tarot cards. But then also when I'm doing my own readings and I pick up other things in the cards, I've started to write this down as well, because then you're building up like your own tarot library, which can be good for reference, but also good to solidify it in your conscious and your subconscious, because we do tend to forget things. But by writing it down and just building up your own symbols, signs, things, you know, pictures, things that you notice, colours, all different things. If you write these things down, you really start to build up and open your intuition more. So the next card that we have, number 2. So this is what you are receptive and open to, or what the collective energy is receptive and open to, or what energies, people and events are we attracting. And that is the 9 of Swords. So, you know, if you allow yourself to kind of go into the picture first, so, you know, are there any symbols? Just look. First it's about like just looking at the card and what do you see? Are there any impressions that you get? Are there any emotions that you feel? What does the colour or the symbolism mean to you? You know, there's drops of blood dropping from the swords. What does that make you feel? You know, what does that symbolise to you? All of these like jaggedy patterns in the background, that looks like messy thoughts to me. And the red, the root, you know, the root chakra, things to do with our home, our stability, our roots. You know, because it's the swords as well, this does look, and the word is cruelty. So is there cruelty from other people coming in? So yeah, really try and explore the imagery of the card, any symbolism that you do see that may mean something to you. So before you do look at the book, always try and do this first. Really immerse yourself in the picture, you know, in the card. So we go on to the 3rd card, and that's the Knight of Swords. So we've got a swords, and we finish with the Knight of Wands. So I thought I would just show you the book as well, in case you are interested in getting this deck. So this is the 9 of Swords, what it says on the back. So this card points out your tendency to put yourself down cruelly. You will have to recognise and fully see this behaviour pattern before you'll be able to overcome it. Question: who judged you earlier? How do you now condemn yourself? Are you ready now to forgive your parents, others and yourself? Suggestion: draw another card to see how your life will look when you accept yourself as you are. Obviously we're not going to do that for the purposes of this video, but feel free to do these things when you're, you know, when it comes to you and you feel like you should. An affirmation: I am loved simply because I am the way I am. I like that. So, you know, we've got our theme being the Hangman, of surrender, intuition, letting go. You know, an energy of, you know, you putting yourself down and maybe others putting you down, as that's the energy coming in. So number 3, I'll just show you here. That's the position 3. So you've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this shows what you are expressing and how you're showing yourself outwardly and what your effect is on others and your environment. So again, this would be the collective. So if you're doing this for yourself, this would be relevant for you. And if you were doing this for a collective reading, this would be what they are expressing and what they're showing of themselves. So when we're looking at the cards, you know, like really get into the imagery of the card. What can you see? What are you first drawn to? I can first see these 3 birds here. So 3 for me is like, for me it's just symbol spirit, so mind, body and soul. They're flying off towards towards the horizon. To me, they're moving forward. They're face on. So it looks like they've got like a destination or a goal that they're really driving towards. The green that he is wearing is the colour of creativity, so he's using his creativity to arrive at his goals. But it looks, you know, it looks like clouds. It looks like clouds and calm in the background, but there's like lines, you know, like there's definite action, straightforward. So these kind of things like that, it's not necessarily what the definition of any books say, but what are you drawn to when you're looking at the card? You know, are there any archetypes you can think of? Do these look like wings on his back, or a propeller of some kind? So flying above some situation. Oh, and he's got swords in his hands as well, facing forward. He's not even holding on to the horse, he's in full trust as he moves forward. So, you know, you can really do this easily the more you immerse yourself in the card. You can try also like picking a card a day from your deck and just really just immerse yourself in it. Maybe meditate on the card. You know, close your eyes and imagine you're in the card. You could be the person on the back, you could even be the horse. Yeah, just really feel into it, because it is those first impressions, the first emotions, allowing yourself to feel into it, or just picking up any symbolism that you see. It does get easier over time. For years I do tarot readings on my friends and myself, and I'd always read the book and then just write it out. But the writing does help you kind of remember meanings over time. But they say when you're trying to, you know, strengthen your intuition, it's better to just get rid of those books and start using your inner guide again. You know, use your intuition to guide you. So I will show us the book for a little bit. So it says, you are in a good position now to forge plans, set goals and bring them to fruition. Do you know your goal? This is for the question. What happens once you achieve it? Suggestion. Imagine how you will best be able to enjoy your success. Affirmation. I know my goal and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. So for card 4, which represents the answer, the key, or points a way in which to overcome the problem actively or suggests a way around it, is the Knight of Wands. So when we look at the card, what do you notice? Like there is a lot of red, there is a lot of yellow. So red, you know, the colour of the root, passion, love. Yellow, creativity, spirit, you know, fire, passion. The horse is standing up, you know, ready to go. He looks determined. He has a goal in mind. He's holding on to the reins, and he's got a torch in his hand that's showing him the way. Yeah, what do you see? Like, if you want to, you know, feel free to pause and immerse yourself in the image of the card. You know, what does it, I don't know, but you can put it in below in the comments. What does a black horse mean? I know that, you know, different coloured horses have different meanings as well, different symbolism. So I'd love to know if you know that. Please put it in the comments. But yeah, and with the book, so it says, be awake, ready for people or situations which could produce dynamic changes in your consciousness. Be grateful for this gift from existence. Receive it and don't cling to it. Questions. Does your present situation allow your energies to develop and unfold fully? If not, what must be removed or changed? Suggestion. Seek out situations and opportunities that challenged you. Engage with all your energy. Affirmation. Every challenge which arises helps me grow. Every storm strengthens my roots. So I really, you know, so this is the book. If you wanted to see it there, that's the book, and that is the deck. And as you can see, it is so torn and tattered. I've had this tarot deck since I was 12. It was bought for me, and I've had it ever since. I'm now like in my 40s, and this is what helped me get into spirituality and all things divination. I love it. But I have only just started, like from a year ago, really opening up my, about 2 years ago probably, opening up my intuition. And a lot of it that I find is, really using your senses that you have already, so your five senses, as the gateway into your intuition, because it's through, the hearing, the sensing, the seeing. I find it's usually for me it's feeling or knowing, seeing and hearing. I don't tend to get like the taste or anything like that as much, but it's just about exploring, building up that symbolic language for yourself. What do colours mean for you? What do numbers mean for you? What do different animals mean for you? And then just build up and write these things down, because you're building up your intuition, and I really find that the writing of it really does help. But remember, it's feeling into it first, using your emotions, seeing what you see. If you know any archetypes, what comes through? Are there any key words that come for you? And then just bring it all together. So, it's using your intuition with your symbolic language, bringing that practical meaning and combining it. And this really helps with the guidance. So I hope this has helped in any way today. I am going to start doing some videos with you just using a card. So we'll have a card that's pulled as the collective message, but then we'll go through it together to help explore and open our intuition. Because I know there's many of us out there who, opening our intuition is very important to us. We want to strengthen it, but it is like a muscle. You've got to use it to strengthen it. And I hope we can do that together. So thank you, and until next time, bye.